while since I've been relegated to the utility room, but Claire has been out for a run tonight, so I said I'd get out of the way while she cooked her dinner, and so I'm standing out here by the coats and the boiler and the fridge and everything. I'm really hoping the background noise isn't too bad on this. I already tried to record a video earlier, but I kept losing my train of thought, which ties into the topic a little bit, and hopefully will make more sense in a minute. But basically, I mentioned on my video on Monday that I had this panic attack on the MRI table thing when I was in there. Got like really messed up and anxiety attacks and just anxious in general, because they basically packed me in really tight and told me not to move, and I could not shake the thought of I needed to move. It was absolutely mental. I was just like, I need to do something, and it just sent me off on a loop. And I thought about it after the fact, and obviously I mentioned it on the video, and it wasn't the only time in the past week or so that I'd kind of gone a bit silly. Like, my mates are arranging a stag, well, somebody's arranging a stag for a mate of mine, the best man, and we're part of it, and he's talking to us about what he wants to do, and he was suggesting his ideas, and he put something forward that's out of my comfort zone. And I mean, I was a bit like, oh, I don't really want to do that to my friends. But to Claire and my colleague who I was sat with at the time when I read it, I had a proper, like, I can't go. It's not going to work. Like, I can't do it. I can't prepare for that. It's not possible. I don't know what to do. And I was like a runaway train. The second it had got mentioned, it was like they just pushed the train over the edge and I'd just gone into the distance, a million miles an hour, 0 to 60, all of that. And just lost it. I was just like, oh my God. Got to the point where that night I messaged my friends and just said, guys, I'm really sorry. I got a bit silly about opposing that. I don't know why I was particularly fussed. It sounds great. It'll be quite fun. Now I've had a chance to just relax, but because it was out of my comfort zone, I've just lost my mind over it. It was silly. And I did the same thing. I went on a Pokemon. I'm not going to list 1,000,001 reasons, but I did a Pokemon raid Friday night, I think it was, maybe Saturday. And the guys we raid with, they're a great bunch. We always hang out, talk at the raids, out the window of the car or whatever. We always meet up. We have a little group on Facebook and everything. And the group had been a bit quieter that day. And then they said there was a raid on if anyone wanted to do it. And I said, I'll come along. I'll meet you there. And when I got there, I was the only one there. And I was trying to there was a couple of spoofers in a gym and I was trying to clear it so that they could take it without, there wasn't enough time for me to take it all the way. But if I get rid of the spoofers, they can take it. So I was doing that. And then they turned up. And I think they thought I was going to get out of the car. But I didn't. And I was just sort of sat there and I thought, well, normally they come to the window at least and say hello, because it was cold. I just thought, they're walking here. They normally come to the window and say hello. And they kind of stood at the back window chatting. And they were a bit far away from the car, but they were chatting away. And I thought, that's a bit weird. They've not said anything. And then randomly someone messaged me saying, you need to go in the raid, mate. They've already started. And I was like, oh, God, I'll get in. So then I'm sat there thinking, well, I'm tapping away thinking, normally they come over. Why haven't they said anything? What have I done? What's going on? What have I done? And I just thought it was really weird. I just messaged them, going, right, I'm off, guys, see you later, and drove home. And I'm sat there thinking, what is going on? Have I done something? Like, what have I done? That's really bizarre. Because like Kev once said to me that he pulled up to do one with him and they drove off. And I don't think they knew he was there, but he's got it in his head they don't like him. And he kept saying that to me. He put it in my head then that, that's why I went straight to that. And so I'm sat there that night watching telly with Claire, and I thought to myself, like, this is a bit bizarre. I wonder what. I'm trying to pinpoint the thing that's caused it. One of them messaged me going, by the way, we thought your window was open. We called over to you. I must have looked or something to the left. They thought I was listening, and then we did about the raid and everything, and they just said, yeah, we just assumed you were involved in the conversation. They said they were talking, and then they just realised I wasn't. Like, it was too late at that point. They realised I wasn't part. They realised the window was shut, and they were just like, okay. And then I drove off, and they were just like, yeah, sorry, is everything all right? And I was like, yeah, no, I actually thought you guys were just having a conversation. It was a very weird one. But the anxiety I felt from that was just, it was silly. It was childish. It was just like, I don't know, I just was feeling low, a bit weak. And when I put the video out, getting to the point, my friend Shelley messaged me saying the exact same thing happened to her partner when she came off her anti-anxiety or antidepressants, and I said, well, I come off mine a year ago, like that can't be the cause. And she said, well, no, it's a year after that it happens. A year after you come off tablets, you start getting these kind of anxiety symptoms. They just come. It's quite common. Look it up. And I was a bit like, really? And then she described it a bit more, and I'm like, okay, no, that does sound like my kind of past week, if not longer. she said, and you've got a lot of stuff going on and everything's kind of a bit busy. And I'm like, yeah, no, you are right. And it's, yeah, interesting. And I had a chat with Claire about it, and she said, yeah, you know, maybe that, you know, I didn't think that would be real. Like, what possible reason could it have for kicking in a year later? It's not like the tablets suddenly finally leave and that's all the trace is gone. Normally that's done after a month. And I looked into it. Apparently it's a thing online. I didn't sort of read too deeply, but there's plenty of people online who talk about this. And I was just like, blowing me down. That's ridiculous. Like, can't believe that that's a thing. I thought I'd, you know, slayed that demon and that was all sorted and I was done and dusted. So Tuesday I was kind of like pondering it but not worrying too much, and then throughout the day I was getting more and more ridiculous. The feeling that I'd had in the MRI machine I was starting to get in the day. I was starting to feel tight chested, my shoulders were aching, things were feeling a bit odd, and I wasn't short of anyone, I wasn't worrying about anything. I'd convinced myself that any time I was going to start worrying I needed to think about something else, because that was silly and it wasn't right. Because I'd been worrying about things. I think there was a thing going on, we were talking about something at work and I was worried that it would look like I hadn't done enough or wasn't into it enough, and that's why it hadn't gone as well as we'd planned, and I was fretting about it. And not because any of that was true, that some of it is a legitimate concern, that could I have done anything better, but it was like no one's standing there going, oh, that was you, mate, you need to work, you need to pull your finger out. You know, they know that I've delivered on what we promised and what we said we'd do, you know, for the plan that we were working to. It's nothing major, it was only a little thing we were working on, but every time I was trying to push it away, and then I got a call from school and I was just like, oh, I saw the number. Well, actually I saw one number pop up and I was like, oh, right, that's the dialing code for the area that my house is in. That means it's school. Call number one was not school, it was nursery, saying that little Ben had done a couple of loose nappies and may need to go home. And I was like, oh, okay, no, that's fair enough. And I'm thinking, well, no, that's not a big deal, you know, chill out, it's all good. And then I got another call and I thought it was the nursery, so I answered it like, is he all right, whatever. And I didn't say anything when I answered. I answered it expecting it to be them saying it's, you know, he's got to go. And it was the deputy head of Ollie's school. And I thought, oh, what has he done? And she's just like, nothing's happened. And I was like, right, what? That makes me worry more. Like, you're telling me there's nothing to worry about. And he said, no, he's having a really good day. Just thought I'd let you know. And I'm like, well, I've just had a heart attack now you've said that. I've just literally had a meltdown because you've told me, you know, you rang me. You know, I've fallen apart inside because you've said you just dialed my number. Why did you need to do that? And he's like, we're sending a letter and I just wanted to let you know the letter's nothing serious. It's just a formality. It was just a thing telling us that their plans, like, they're going to treat him like he's got autism. They're going to escalate if he is, you know, or if he hurt someone by mistake or got thrown out of class or whatever. Disrupted him in class, sorry, they'd move him out of class. If he got moved out of class 3 times, they'd escalate it to another level where he'd sit out for a day just to somewhere peaceful and that sort of stuff. And I was like, okay, no, that sounds good. And she got off the phone and I was thinking, I really didn't need that right now. That was a bad timing call. And then nursery rang again to say that Ben did have to go home, and I was like, oh Jesus, I'm texting mother-in-law worrying that she's going to think I'm a monster for not doing it myself because she's off and I'm at work. And I got to the point where I just thought, I need to do something, but there's nothing I can do. There's no solution to this problem. What can I do? And I did probably the weakest thing imaginable. Like the lowest out of a scale of 1 to 10. I probably did like a 1. I went to Tesco's to buy my lunch and I just happened to be passing a tea and I thought, I'm going to buy some chamomile tea. That'll chill me out. Really, really just low level effort thinking there. And I was just like, right, I'm going to drink this. And I got back to the office. I was like, someone said, do you want a coffee? I was like, no, I'm going to drink chamomile. And they were like, okay, that's a bit random. And I drank it and nothing happened. And I was like, what a waste of £2.50 that was. What a frigging joke. What a plonker. And then it was making me more anxious. And I'm thinking, this has massively backfired. What am I doing? And I think by the time I got home and it turned out that Ollie had a good day and it was all good and everything was fine and Ben was fine and all that, I calmed down at night. So then this morning I thought to myself, when I get in, I'm not going to drink any caffeine because I have a pint cup and I drink like pints of coffee and tea, like probably 6 or 7 of them a day, and they don't do anything for me. Like, I'm still sat there some days just like falling asleep in my chair because I can't keep my, like, I'm trying to focus, and if I'm reading a particularly long passage or I'm trying to sit through a really long PowerPoint and it's just like, oh, this is so hard to watch. So I thought, I'm not benefiting from it. I should just replace it. I'm going to replace it with the chamomile and replace it with the water and see how I go. So by like 11 o'clock, I'd had probably 3 pints of this chamomile, and I'd been using 2 tea bags a pint because I wanted it to be strong, and I wanted it to be as strong as it could be, basically, because it's a big cup. If I put 1 in, it's too weak. My God, I was basically, I kept saying, I'm vertical, and I meant horizontal. I was feeling horizontal. I was basically ready to have a lie down. I was basically passing out. I was ready to sleep. Those yawns weren't tired yawns. They were, I'm so cozy now I could sleep. I felt completely and utterly baked from it. It was ridiculous. I was so chilled out. It was just mad. I went on my lunch break, come back, and I had probably another 3 cups, and was just got to the I got to the end of the day, and I thought, I've got loads done today. And normally I'm sat there flagging away thinking I really need my break or whatever, but I'm not trying to say, oh, I've discovered a magic cure, or that's all it took, I feel fine, because I'm not 100%, but it made a difference. Getting rid of the caffeine was the big thing. Breaking my routine though was bizarre, and I'll end on a ridiculous story that I tweeted about, but because I didn't have my normal routine, didn't have caffeine first thing and all that sort of thing, I'm driving along to work, and I look out the window and I thought, where the hell am I? Where am I? What's going on? Where am I? I don't recognise any of these buildings. I'm lost. I've gone the wrong way. I'm looking out the window and I'm starting to head up. I'm starting to panic, and I'm thinking, have I missed my turning? Have I gone the wrong way? Has something changed? Where am I? And I drove for about 5-6 minutes just looking around. Like, I don't know where I am. What do I do? Do I turn off? I need to pull over and tell work I'm going to be late because I don't know where I am. What is going on? And then I saw the IKEA distribution centre on my right and was like, oh, I'm like halfway to work. It's the normal routine. I've been driving this way for 2 years. I'm just on this road. What's going on? Why didn't I know that? And all I can think is, I'm on such autopilot in the morning, and I had my coffee, I'm going along like a zombie or whatever, because I didn't do that. And I just went on, and it was just normal, mundane, crack on with the day type thing. I was that more aware of my surroundings that it freaked the hell out of me. So by the time I got in, I was wide awake because I had the mad panic of thinking I was lost. Didn't have any more problems for the rest of the day. I didn't get a call from school today, although I didn't have the best of times. He just didn't have a bad day. So that was good. I didn't have any calls from nursery because Ben was at home, so that was good. Everything was good with the ladies. And it's just been bizarre. I'm lucky that the day's been nice and chilled. I had a really good message from someone when I put up my video about feeling like a muppet for writing. A fella got in touch to just say, no, you know, if you have a dream, do it, get it done. Otherwise, it will never get done. You never be yourself. Really good message. If you want to be inspired, go back to that video called "I Feel Like a Muppet." I think I've hearted the comment. It's an awesome comment. I loved getting that message. It had lots of randomness to it as well because the guy used to live in Deeping and stuff like that. So it's just nice to get it. I love getting that sort of thing. But I just feel like having had a day, it's almost like it was a caffeine kind of withdrawal. I think that's not what I was trying to say. I think withdrawing caffeine has made me feel great today. I feel really good at the moment. I thought I'd be passing out by this time, but I think I've had so much of the tea, and the fact I'm not feeling anxious because I've just calmed myself slightly, taking the edge off it, has made me feel better. I'm nervous that this apparently is a thing that's going to kick on a little bit for a little while. I don't know I need to look into how long it lasts normally. I don't want to go looking at tablets or anything like that. It'll run its course. It does eventually. Do you know what I mean? It's not something that I think is a major issue. But I'm just fascinated by how much of an effect caffeine obviously was having, and the alternative at the moment is having a good positive lifting. I don't know which thing is the biggest cause, but it's just been a funny day. My colleagues were all laughing at me because I just kept yawning. It was like I was yawning like a baby, a real big yawn, like bagpuss or something. But I felt so relaxed and so calm and so good, and my shoulders haven't felt this untense in a while. And I think all it took was just a ridiculous, probably 8 or 9 pints of chamomile tea, which, yeah, try it. I don't know, it might be good. I think it's only about £2 in Tesco's. I'm not saying it's going to make the biggest difference in the world, but I feel alright at the moment. I'm quite pleased with this, and gave me something to talk about, didn't it? So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll be doing a video, what is it, Wednesday, so I'll be doing a video on Friday probably, because I'm at my family's at the weekend. I'm meeting my friends that I mentioned earlier in the message, the one I was being a bit of a diva with. I don't know if I'll film that because we're going out for a meet. I've not seen him in ages. I'm excited. I think I was anxious about that, but now I've gone over that hill, I'm suddenly mad with excitement because I get to see him, because I've not seen him in about 9-10 months, and I'm going away with him in February as well, so that's going to be awesome. It's weird, I saw him probably once last year, maybe twice, and this year I'm already going to have seen them 4 times by June, so I'm just like, this is a good year already. But no, cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the weekend or Friday, whatever happens. Cheers.